I was like,
hi, Debbie.
How are you?
Hey, Debbie. Did you guys win the game?
We did. Nebraska won, which was awesome.
Yeah, I checked because I was thinking of you. I checked in halfway through and it looked like you were up by a couple of
Yeah,
touchdowns.
we won. And I think I'm good luck. So that was good. So I'm at the Utah League of Cities and Towns, and we're on a break. So I probably can give you a half an hour of my time, and then I can watch the rest later. But happy to connect in.
Thanks very much for joining us. And Nathan Whiting is also here.
Hey, Debbie.
You suggested.
Hello, how are you, Nate?
Yeah. You guys having fun?
Well, we've been in meetings all day, mostly on housing, affordability, water, economic development, good things that we need to be concerned about.
Well, get all the problems solved.
Yeah. Solutions.
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Rachel, I did hear some news about you from my vineyard friends saying you are leaving us.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
this
no.
will be my last meeting.
Oh, no, Rachel.
So sad.
But I told them that was a very smart hire and that they would enjoy you very much. So
Oh, you're moving to Vineyard?
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going part.
Yeah.
So it's Vineyard.
sorry if I gave up your secret, but they told me today.
Well, I think if you came next month,
I was gonna
she's
tell
not
them.
there.
I was gonna tell you guys.
Yeah, when your friends come up to you and say, "Hey, we took one of your planners," I'm like, "What? Who?"
Oh. But
You gotta watch out for those rivalries.
I know. It'll be good.
Do you live in Orem or do you live
I live in Vineyard.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Spend more time at home.
And there's lots going on.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
You guys just voted to succeed from the union school district.
No voting yet.
It's on the ballot.
Oh, it's a ballot.
It's on the ballot.
Yeah, it was voted to put it on the ballot.
Hi.
So.
Is this my seat?
Yes, that's your seat.
Sarah,
All right.
November.
How are ya?
Happy to be here, Matt.
I think we are still expecting there.
I saw Hillary today and she confirmed that she was. She was moderating one of the
Yeah, you
sessions
can-
Let me
today.
share with you.
Do you want to email it to me?
I'll share my presentation. Sorry.
But I do have an event that I can share.
Okay.
The one that she was.
Basically, the only
Life on water, land, and.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it's hard. What about my personal life?
Okay, well, given that we have Matt and Debbie here for a portion of our meeting, I just texted Darren to see if he'll join us. Hillary is unfortunately unable to join us today. She had a loss in her family.
Oh, that's the wrong document.
A couple of weeks ago. So, very sorry for her loss. Everybody got the agenda? Are we starting? Are we recording?
It's recording, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call this meeting to order then. We have a couple of guests, and Reed Price, who is our new Orem City Water Manager, is here. He's going to present some things to us today, and also Nathan Whiting is here. Nathan is a friend of Debbie Gray's, who is involved in some technological innovation around water usage. So I thought if we had water on the agenda, that after your presentation, hear a little bit from Nate and see what they've got going And then after that, we've got a few other quarter agenda items. So my hope, Reed, is that we'll take about 25 minutes
Okay.
on this discussion, then Nate, maybe give you another 10, 15 minutes as you need.
Yeah.
And then we'll, if you're welcome to stay, but we can also excuse you. And,
Sorry. There, I got it. There you go. We can share this with Rachel. I was planning on logging in myself and then got here and saw that she had. Didn't think that through very well.
introduce yourself, like a little bio.
Yeah.
So everybody gets to know you.
So my name is Reed Price.
Here comes Darren.
I am Reed Price, the Assistant Public Works Director. I started my career out with the city of Orem back in 1998, running the lab wastewater treatment plant. I was a recent graduate from BYU and did what I could do and had a connection that got in there and ended up really enjoying the wastewater industry. And I was in the lab for a while, went to the city manager's office, stayed emergency manager for a couple of years. Then I became the executive director of the Utah Lake Commission and I was that for 7.5 years. The city opened up and I came back. Public Works responsibilities primarily with the city's streets and stormwater system, parks, fleet, traffic, cemetery. My counterpart on the water side got a new job elsewhere, and the Public Works Director asked me to fill in as the Water Resources Division Manager and made the position of background in, and really enjoyed the field. And there's always something lots to do. So in my previous role as the Maintenance Division Manager, I also was staff support to the Beautification Commission. And the recent meeting that we held as I transitioned those responsibilities over to the new Public Services Division Manager, we had invited Quinn to come and see what they do, and there's some shared interest. And Quinn said, "Hey, now the water guy," he wrote me into coming and presenting to you guys. And
Can I ask, which major, would you
I
study?
was a microbiology major at that point, and then I got my MPA several years after.
Okay, an MPA. I'm always curious about people's paths.
Reed, do you know everybody in the room?
I know Sarah and I know you. Other came to one of the beautification commissions.
We were talking about the Heritage Park. I came to that meeting.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I do recognize you. Of course, I know Matt.
It's Paul Dunn.
whole crew that I have access to that can help answer questions that I don't know the answers to.
Yeah, I think it'd be good for us to powwow out because the entity I represent works with everything that you described for all the state of Utah and all the western states. And you just described something I don't think a lot of people are aware of.
Okay.
You did a really good job.
Happy to chat. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
apologize, I didn't bug out, but one quick update on the city hall landscaping. We have a guest scheduled here next week in November to address that.
Oh, who is it?
Laying our capital improvement. They're also bringing the landscape architect.
Okay, that's what
I sent you an email about it, but we might have missed.
Okay, how much time do you want?
Well, it's up to depending on
So-
how many
That's the
questions
other
you
thing. Grant will be here for your next meeting, because I won't be here, and
have. Actually, I'll just be Grant. I'll be
Matt
at home.
won't be here.
Grant.
Grant Allen.
This is one of our other things.
Okay. So in terms of getting agenda, I'm gonna go with Grant, Matt.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
And Matt
Well,
will-
we'll get, you still work for me, we'll get the agenda all out through me. Grant will just be attending the
Okay.
meetings on behalf.
Thanks. Nate Whiting's here. He works in agricultural technology and has some stuff that would probably be interesting to us. And so we invited him to come talk on our water section today.
So a long time ago, when this product was first being developed, I met with Debbie's dad.
Debbie Loray's dad is a professor of agriculture.
He was over all the professors at Nebraska for a long time. I'm going to be super brief, and then just give you guys an idea. So during the meeting, he talked about there's a shortage between every time you do conservative. So the more water you save, the less money you make, which inversely charges the client, will eventually charge the people more.
Yep.
And your guys are going to be through this cycle for a while. So the product I'm representing today is made from volcanic ash, minerals from the Great Salt Lake that are treated, extracted, and combined into a pellet and a liquid. They operate by simply activating the aerobic soil, and that aerobic soil then takes over and converts what is in the pellet into minerals that it uses to grow itself. And that growth begins to expand and aerate the soil. And over time, that soil eventually becomes the sweet smelling stuff you get in the mountains when it rains. And what it's doing underground, this is a golf course you guys may be familiar with, it is, sorry, oh, no, sorry. There's two to that. I apologize. I went a stapler in my car and I believe my family borrowed it. Basically what you're seeing is what takes place with the roots when you treat it. Eventually you can get grass roots to 4 feet. Can't here in Utah. The deeper your roots, the less water it uses because it stores water. Microbes will convert the energy used. So basically the sun comes down, and if you have microbes, it gets converted to energy that gets converted to a storage system that then is used in droughts. So you can use even less water. I'm metered, and during the drought season, I could go almost 2.5 weeks without watering my lawn. Okay, now,
And this, I'm trying to play this back to understand, it's because the roots have deepened enough that they.
yeah, so there's two things. The soil has become porous, which allows water to flow down, so it doesn't sit on the surface and evaporate out. And then the other thing is that soil, if you've ever seen mountain soil, you know how it's crumbly and dark. That's actually the byproduct of microbes. And that microbes produce what they call humates. And UMains can store 90% of its weight in water, and it will only release that water to plants. And it can store it for upwards of 30 days. And there's a group of bacteria that exist on the surface that actually creates a crust on the surface. And if you've ever been in a desert that hasn't been walked on and you step on it and it cracks, that is biofilm. Okay. So I'm going to throw an idea out to you. We're just starting this year to sell this directly. We no longer go through third-party vendors like we used to. My recommendations are that you guys look at, you've got meters, is selling it.
Say that, what do you mean?
I think you guys should work out a contract with a company like us and sell it to your residents.
The city should.
Yeah. Put it through your fertigation system. This is all organic. And it will not harm, will not hurt, will not do damage. It actually improves everything, including, for lack of a better way of saying this, it is the experience of walking outdoors and smelling organic. And the whole city could smell like it does after it rains. And at the same time, you would be generating revenue during the process of reducing water instead of losing revenue. I don't know if it's possible to do, but as he spoke, I don't think a lot of people understand what Reed explained so well. But the bottom line is, you guys are cutting back and trying to get people to use water. Eventually you get to a point where they can use no less than they can. But in the end, you're going to end up getting into a catch-22, if you will, where everything that you do to reduce water usage ends up costing the people that are saving the water more money. And eventually you guys are going to end up with a conflict like you're seeing in other cities, where they get really upset, they won't allow water to raise, and then it causes some problems. So I'm going to show you what happens when you go downstream, like at Sleepy Ridge, even though they're aerating now, they didn't used to. But you see this kind of behavior in ponds. You can pass the phone around, you can see that.
Yeah.
Where you get algae.
Yeah.
Algae blooms. Now, you see that in the Great Salt Lake. That's all from commercial fertilizers that are being used upstream. And as the city expands, as the city starts putting more of those commercial fertilizers on, you end up doing more of that type of activity. Whereas if you add a product like that, this is what it does to the pond.
Have you talked to somebody like Sleepy Ridge? Are they interested?
We work, we have a soft commitment for several golf courses in the area, but really ultimately the goal and objective is for residents to use it, because what we're trying to do is all of this process sequesters carbon.
We work with other cities.
You're the first city I met with. And the reason we're meeting and not going through our normal channel, which is to work with the golf course and then work backwards from the golf course to the city, is because of Debbie. We met with Debbie, and you can see if you look at that page, you've gone from 2 centimeters to 14 centimeters in 4 weeks. But you're watering that golf course only once every other hour for 2 minutes.
Do you have a demonstration, like, location in the area that monitors, like, you know, kind of a side-by-side, treated, untreated, you know?
We have a lot of
water.
residential area
Okay.
that use them. If you look on the back page, that's a residential the back page of the golf one. That is the residence home. They are now watering once every 10 days. And it greens up beautifully. It smells incredible. The downside is that, you might have a tendency to have to cut it because it gets very lush as a result of that. But for a golf course that, golf courses are great places to make money.
I'm just trying to think about how this could be tested in the city like ours. So one could be residential, one could be that, working with parks and public works. That they could do some experiments, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they love what they saw, then I think it would be a great thing for them to continue to adopt. I'd be happy to try to move it. I don't know how I would do that.
Well, I can give you some. I've had it used. We typically, so we've been using it with business owners and people that manage, like you have some law firms around here, and some of those law firms have people that are big in the garden, and we've been having them use it. And I've been using that inside of Orem City, so that I can use businesses to express their interest in it and to use it. But what you said earlier, the best way to do it is just simply to put it down somewhere, like we did on this golf course here in Utah County, and have them experience it.
That sounds simple. Put it down. Don't you have to pull the grass up, put it down, and put the grass back down?
No.
You put it on like fertilizer with the top?
Yeah, it's basically, it goes through an air spreader.
Okay.
This is what it looks like.
Okay. And it just waters in.
Yep,
And how often do you have to put it down?
twice a year.
This year?
But if you want to do what a golf course would do, and you're trying to maintain a look and a feel for a city, you can put it down every 30 days. Because it's organic, you cannot burn your grass, you cannot do harm. But it is incredible on what it does to the aroma of everything it comes in contact with. So basically when it rains and you smell that smell, that's actually bacteria from the soil. That's air, gone airborne.
What kind of price are we talking about? So typical residential lot, 5,000 square feet or something like that?
Residential is a lot more. Commercial for like a city, it's $40 an acre for the liquid.
Yeah. Well,
And it's 73 cents a pound for the dry commercial. It's $1 a pound for residential.
all
so
the
you're
pound
looking-
and a pound covers.
It would take about 35 pounds to cover a quarter of an acre.
Got it. So not bad.
It's not prohibitive.
No.
No, it's really not cost prohibitive. But so I work with a group of people that I cannot disclose, but the idea would be that it would have tremendous value if the cities could use it as a carbon sequester product line for climate change.
Would that qualify for carbon credits?
Yes.
Really?
You're sequestering carbon every time you put this product out.
But as far as like applying for formal carbon credits?
Yes, because it falls under an organic input and it meets California standards for organics. And so you would be able to make claims that you are going organic, and in so doing, you could use that as a means to, and this is just an idea that came to me while I was sitting there. The ideal situation would be is that as a city, you want your residents to have something that is of value to reduce their carbon footprint, how much they're using. But at the same time, every time they reduce the amount, you're losing revenue. So there might be a way that you have people that are interested in doing carbon doing something environmentally friendly, they put a fermentation tank where they just buy a dried version of it and they put it down and they get not credit, but they could get credit in a way that makes it so that the credit, sure, I worked all the logistics in my head, but they're buying the product from Orem City. If that makes any sense.
Thanks, Nate, for introducing this to us. I know we're running out of time here. I think in terms of next steps, it might be useful for you to talk with Reed.
Yep, we'll get a hold of him.
Because he may be very interested by this. And then I think if I was a city, I would want Public Works to, Parks and Rec maybe, to try it out and see what works. And then Debbie is a link to the city.
Yep.
And so I think if Public Works got excited about it,
Absolutely.
that would be a good way to get into thinking about using it. But if it helps sequester carbon, if it helps use less water, if it helps make the place feel more natural, that sounds great to me.
Yeah, it brings in a lot more birds. You have a lot more organic activity around everything that goes on. It, from our neighbors' kids, and from the peaches that people come over and grab. I mean, what this does for gardens, tasted your food. I'm sorry about that.
If you end up needing less fertilizer in your yards, then that will also help you.
Really?
A lot.
A ton. And then once we get through this stage, the next stage is to show you how you can do what we did to that pond that I showed you in the picture, how you can do that to Utah Lake.
But people would be very interested.
Yes, for sure.
Okay,
Thank
we are a good place to start. We are not decision makers, but we connect with people that we can advise on this. And so I'm just starting to start with Reed and have him get you in touch with the right people.
Yeah, I'll meet with Reed and we'll set up a test and.
I'm a decision maker on my own yard. I would like to try this.
Yeah.
If you guys would like, I can't give it to you free because you're.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
So if you guys want some,
If it's a non-prohibitive cost, I would be interested in trying it.
yeah, so give me a breakdown. Just send me if you're interested. I'll give you, let me know if you want to do liquid or pellet.
Okay, how would we choose?
It depends on what you want to put down. If you have one of those little tanks that put in a hose, we have a little bottle that you just put that in, fill it in, and then you just spray it. A lot of people like that for their garden areas, grass, things like that. It'll fill in some dry spots if you have some trouble areas, and it's a great way to just kind of do that. If you want to look at something where you're looking at just trying to build some roots, then typically what people will do is they'll put the pellet down about this time of year, do their typical fertilizer protocol, and then if you don't mind, I'd come out and I'll show you a sample of what your roots look like now, and then come spring, we'll come out and take another look at it, and you can say, or even 4 weeks if the weather stays good.
Cool.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very nicely done, yeah.
Yes, okay, thanks. We had a couple of interesting presentations there. Can we talk through our final agenda items very briefly? Paul, you were up to talk about bike events.
Okay, yeah, so, successfully been talking to Sean and of the Orem Bicycle Coalition. They are willing to join us, provide bikes for a city council ride. Debbie suggested we do this in concert with a city council working session to increase participation rate. In exploring whether we could do that in October, the answer is no. It's already booked out. There's no time to do that before it probably will get cold. But We have the network in place that we can definitely make this happen in spring. Matt also made the great suggestion that we could have the Transportation Commission also be involved in this, and it could be a series of bike rides like Matt suggested, or one that Shauna suggested that would hit some of the highlights of great bike facilities and less great ones, so that the city council and whoever else is on the ride could see.
It feels a little bit like what we took.
Yeah, I think it could be similar. Like she had said we could start on the Murdoch Canal Trail, but then hit, like a troublesome intersection, just kind of get the feel of, oh, this is why we might need a little bit better facility here, and then some streets that have bike lanes, others that don't, and things like that.
I like the idea of combining it with the work session.
Mm-hmm. And I think we could get pretty good turnout,
I would love to participate in that.
Yeah, so that is definitely in the works. We'll make the plan for probably spring.
Debbie said that if we could get somebody, one of the bicycle shops to go on e-bikes or something.
Yes, and there is definitely,
We would get more city council members on that.
right, yeah, Tom McDonald bikes up the Alpine Loop, but everybody else probably would benefit from something like that.
Yeah.
So spring,
But
you're working on it, and
Yeah. Yeah, we'll coordinate and work further ahead so that we can get on a working session schedule.
maybe I will make as a personal goal between now and spring to bike each part of the city. Be a resource for Orem.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, that's where it stands at the moment. So I'm feeling good. I feel like we've got good contacts, and there's definitely interest from the coalition side, and Debbie's also excited about it. So.
The coalition is able to see.
Yes.
Yes.
We have people with a voice now. Yeah.
Comment about the e-bikes. I know companies like Lime or other scooter companies.
No,
Mhm.
Bird is scooter.
Yeah.
I don't know if they
But,
bikes.
but a lot of them are starting to do e-bikes now.
Mhm.
and they'll do
Provo
like
is
an-
getting them.
Yeah.
They'll do a free demo for city council.
Okay.
So that might be an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and what Shauna had talked about is Mad Dog bicycles might be able to, basically let people ride them for like a test ride or whatever around for free. So, so hopefully we can get a few of those e-bikes for free for those sports rides.
It sounds to me that our third agenda item, which is a discussion of city hall landscaping, can be put off to next. That's okay. Thank you for raising it. This wouldn't have happened unless you.
Well, I have other ideas. It's just more of a general idea about they could be inside, outside, but yeah, it's not that.
Okay. Do you want to give us an update on the conference that you're?
So yeah, today was day 2 of the 3-day conference at UVU. We've got people from around the world come into town, and it's been great to see the turnout of young people. They really try to emphasize participation of youth, and encourage a lot of students to submit papers and present on various SDG goals. This afternoon they had a service project to put together kits for refugee mothers. And then I told you there's a sustainable fashion show tonight, 6:30 to 8. And then tomorrow is the closing day. They'll have some more sessions, thematic sessions on the various SDGs, and then a closing session the early afternoon.
Where is it?
It's at in the Sorensen Center at UVU. The Reagan Theater is their primary location.
It's not the place that you could go to UVU. That's on the top floor. Where you get like Utah links. So.
Oh, that's the Clark building?
That's the Clark building.
Yeah.
So it's a student center, and so now if you go like the front new front entrance. It's just a little bit behind that. It's a little bit north of that.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that.
Depends on
so
where
I-
you're.
Like if you're
I definitely
coming
know
on
where the student
University
center is.
and you go to that roundabout, instead of going on the freeway,
Okay.
the roundabout there, that's the
The
main
new front
entrance
exit, right.
officially, right? And it's just north of that. Is
Right.
this one, so.
And then just a-
There's like
Garage.
14 lots around campus, but yeah,
There's
the
a
garage,
visitor's garage.
parking garage.
Yes, we pick up.
It's like $1 an hour or something.
Any particular times tomorrow that would be good to come? Look out for them.
Yeah, they have an interactive program. They also live stream a lot of these things. So if you can't go physically, you can still watch them and they record them as well.
Let's see, tomorrow. All right, tomorrow they've got conference presentations at various locations around the university. That's those who are presenting papers. And then there's another side event. Let's see, I'm not sure what that one's on. And then they have 2 tracks. So there's the 10:15. There are 2 options at 10:15 and 2 options at 11:30. There's like work and economic growth and industry, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, and partnerships. And then lunch break is around 2 to 3, and then the closing session is from 3 to 4:30 in the radio theater, and that one is also live stream.
Did you,
I streams, like I can go online and figure out.
Should be able to. Yeah.
did you catch Bishop Budge's presentation or hear about it?
I did yesterday.
Yes.
Yes,
That sounds fantastic.
it was great.
Yeah, I was there.
It was.
That's
I actually had lunch with the sustainability manager in
Oh,
the presiding
excellent.
bishoprics office.
Oh, great.
It's a position that's 4 months old,
Mhm.
and she's great.
Yeah,
so
what was
we-
her name?
Her name is Jenica
Yeah.
Sedgwick. Do you know
Yeah, I've
her?
been working with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did you guys happen to catch the pre-conference talk?
yeah, Bishop Jose.
Bishop Cose's talk, yeah.
I never read about it.
Solid
stunning.
Lives, yeah.
Yeah,
It was basically an NRC.
it was fantastic. And I was so happy to see Bishop Budge stood up twice in the last,
Yeah, well, and
4 days,
she
we
talked about like how great it has been working with this particular bishopric leadership.
Yeah.
And they've really set the tone. And so that's
they seem really committed to doing better
Yeah.
and getting the message out.
getting the message out, yeah, for sure.
I'm
It
just
was
so heartened by this. I
Yeah.
just think it's
No,
a
it was
beautiful
great. It was-
development.
nice to hear from you.
Yeah. That's great.
I will say, pass along what Hillary mentioned. I saw her earlier today, and she was saying that there will be, so there's like been the Utah Lake Symposium events at UVU. There's been a couple of them. There's going to be another one that's like policies about Utah Lake, and I think Representative Brammer is going to be there, and I'm not sure who else. That will be October 18th, from 6 to 8.
Okay.
Is that another one of the, like, in the same series that it's like hosted by the Utah Valley Conservation or whatever it's called? Or is this from the
I
Utah
think
Lake
it might be-
Authority?
I think it might be, I don't
Conserve
know.
Utah Valley, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's UVU or if it's the Utah Lake Authority. I just know Hillary told me about it, and
Okay.
she overlaps obviously on both those ones, so
Mhm.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's gonna be a policy focus on Utah Lake.
Okay.
Fantastic.
That's happening. Pass it along. Is there anyone that has specific things they need to share with the community?
I will just say that the end of this calendar year would be the end of my second 3-year term on the board, on this committee. I probably will be rotating off. Technically in the bylaws, I think it says that you have to wait a session, before you come back on. But I would like to still be like a volunteer that still comes to meetings when possible, and
Is that what our bylaw says, that you can't do more than 2 terms? Is it
consecutive. Correct. So,
This is gonna be a big deal because all of us are on our second terms now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you take like a day off and then
Right.
be appointed?
Hillary is the only one.
Yeah.
First term.
so, yeah, I don't know what my life will be like without this committee, and so that's why I'm like, well, I don't really want to leave the committee.
I know what it will be like. It'll be horrendous.
Well, that's why I was like, well, I'll just be like a volunteer that is still helping with issues and coming to meetings,
Mm.
you know, but not officially part of the committee, but still,
This is something
that might be.
that we need to think a little bit about.
Maybe.
We need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Because how much more time do you have there?
I don't know.
We came on at the same time.
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
Oh
We
dear.
started.
Oh,
We
dear.
started together.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, sorry.
Is this a calendar year thing?
It usually
We may
is
start-
December
yeah.
31st.
The month, so Paul
I
was.
just
Paul
got
was just
re- I
reappointed.
just got
reappointed.
true,
So-
but we started in January.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Oh, dear.
I think yours
Yes.
is in February.
Okay, so I have 2 and a little bit left.
So a little bit,
Years.
years, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. We're not talking about months.
But you guys have months left, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Seems to be that might be the
Yeah.
case. Wow, that's insane.
So how do we advertise if we need new members?
So that is something that is done through the city council. They appoint everyone, and they have recently started like vetting all the applications.
That used to be done by staff, correct? And it probably still will be done by staff, but,
Staff can still review the
right,
applications,
but,
that'll probably be something like that.
I think we need to talk to Debbie about this.
We'll look at.
Is there a call for applicants or is there just
Yes, I
a?
think they closed it on Facebook and it's on the website too.
we've done that before. We've
Standing.
done some like social media posts.
Feels like we could do a social media.
And then, you
post,
know,
right?
like word of mouth, talk to friends
Yeah.
or people that we're familiar with.
I just think that when we've had no recommendations before, we've had less good luck getting people who are really interested. I think we could have more diversity. But I think
We're very university centric.
Yeah, it is.
With Sarah.
For one.
Very university.
but I've never seen a committee that is well functioning like consistently
Go team.
with this particular group we have.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm worried about.
You guys get a lot of time.
thank you.
Really,
Thank
it doesn't
you.
feel like it.
It doesn't.
But I did go to the beautification commission. I have a concurrent.
I often hear from people like you and others at the city that we are a very active, robust, get stuff done committee, so I feel pretty good about us.
Really?
Compared to the other one.
Okay, thank you for flagging that. That is
Yeah.
something
That's a big one.
Sorry about that, but
Yeah.
I still will envision that I will want to keep coming to meetings because it's been my life for 6 years. So,
Just, I don't know, just really quickly, I met with Joel Ferry, who's the head of Division of Natural Resources appointed by the governor there on Utah Lake issues. And it was a very productive meeting, is how I would describe it. He shares a lot of our concerns, and I was very heartened by DNR. Yeah, he's the key person in the state on this.
What was his name again?
Joel Ferry is his name. He is the appointee of the governor to head the Division of Natural Resources.
What does that mean for you, Tom?
It means that he oversees much of the process of the future of Utah Lake. And he is working very hard to make sure that it's a future that many of us would hope for.
Good.
Is that fair enough? Yeah. I mean,
That's encouraging.
yes, it's very
I just
encouraging.
wasn't sure what the Division of Natural Resources relationship was to things like.
So, right, the commission is actually more of advisory. We made a big deal, lots of people make a big deal of the
DNR is
commission.
executive.
The DNR is the executive, right? Yeah, the commission, especially for the islands project and other kinds of big projects, they're advisory to the DNR, and the DNR is advisory to the governor ultimately. But yeah, when we tried to set up something with the governor, he says, "Why don't you use the Joel Ferry? He's the key person." So it was all very promising, I thought. Their report to the state legislature, because we had worried that there had been no follow-up to that report, that the report was that it's unconstitutional, the Islands Project, and it's also poor science, and that it's getting better. We were worried that because we hadn't heard any action on that the state was maybe not fully behind that particular suggestion, but I have increased faith that the state really believes those 3 points. So that makes me very happy.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Just quickly, sorry. Yeah. He did say that what's the main thing we can do? We asked him. He says promote water conservation. So
We have some minutes to approve today.
No.
And if you need to look at them, I have them on the computer. The only thing that I had a question about was I didn't quite understand the last sentence, but we don't need to change it.
Which last?
Aaron approves, motion passed unanimously.
Oh, I
Aaron,
probably just need to delete that. I'll delete it.
I just said, approved what?
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm pretty cantankerous, so that could mean almost anything.
Aaron opposed. Okay,
I'll delete that.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
hi.
Aye.
Great, that was unanimous. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I will second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
I'll send these to for a signature tomorrow.
That's fine. Thank you. And Rachel,